Hey everyone! Today we're going to learn to make a steering wheel cover for your car. So you'll just want to measure the the circumference of your wheel, or just follow the instructions I have. It should fit most cars. My steering wheel is pretty big. It's 47 inches, and I gave myself a 48-inch piece of fabric. So I've used cotton lycra, I've used like a minky, and I'm going to use a woven this time. I've used a canvas before, not a regular woven. I have the 48-inch piece of fabric. I'm using Tacos from TKB Prints. I have a piece of fleece, a little bit smaller than the length of my fabric, and a layer of shelf liner from the Dollar Tree. All my pieces are 6 inches wide-ish. The shelf liner and the interfacing are 5.5 inches wide. I'm just trying to play with it because I've only used the shelf liner a few times now. The shelf liner is very, very sticky and it's really hard to sew. So I'm trying different variations right now to see which works best. So again, 6 inches by 48 inches. For my steering wheel, and I'm going to use two 30-inch pieces of elastic, and they are 1/4 inch each. I know this is the elastic everyone wants, but I think it might be able to be found easier now. So I put double-sided tape from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts along the length of both sides. Trying something different this time, just because I didn't like the way it did it last time. I'm going to take my double-sided tape off. And on one side I have it all the way up to the end, so I can just fold over 1/4 inch because I'm using the woven fabric. This side I couldn't get it over there and grab the shelf liner, so I'll just fold it over to meet the double-sided tape. So with knit fabric you can skip this step and just fold over 1/2 inch and top stitch. It's really easy that way. I prefer it that way, but I gotta make it a little bit difficult. So I pulled a little bit of the tape down, and I'm just gonna fold my woven edge over. So this is gonna stop the edges from fraying, and then we'll fold it over one more time and make a channel. I'm gonna do that for the length of my fabric and on the other side. Now that all the edges are folded over, I'm going to stitch my edges down. And I'm going to use a Teflon foot, so it hopefully doesn't stick as much. I'm using a 4 length and a 5 width on my home machine here. All stitched down. I'm going to repeat for the other side. Now that that's finished, we're going to take this and fold it over again. So I've got my Dritz Easy Hem, and I'm going to fold it over 5/8 of an inch, just because I don't have a 3/4 of an inch mark on here, or else that's what I would use. So I'm just folding it over and clipping. My Easy Hem really sticks to this, so that shelf liner. So you just gotta kind of rip it back out of there. And keep going all the way down and then do the other side. Okay, that's all the way clipped. Now we are going to top stitch down the length of it. I'm going to try to follow my already existing stitching. I'm not really sure how many. It looks like a 3/4 inch seam allowance, even though I only folded it over 3/4 of an inch. I don't know. I'm going to follow that stitch line anyways on both sides. All top stitched. Then we're going to take our elastic on a safety pin or bodkin and start threading it through the ends of your steering wheel cover. This could be difficult or easy. It'll depend. While I'm threading mine through, I remembered that I usually take the end of my elastic and I'll put a clip on it. So at least when it gets to the end, it can be stopped by the clip. I had to switch my bodkin tool to a smaller one. It was not going through this, but this is going through pretty nicely this time. So I think the key to doing these is doing that 1/4 inch fold first. That really seemed to help. Definitely make sure you have a Teflon foot if you're going to use the shelf liner. If you don't use the shelf liner, then you don't need to worry about it. It's pretty fast. Without the shelf liner, these usually take me like 15 minutes or something. And I'll use my cover stitch machine and I'll just fold it over the inch, cover stitch the seams, and then thread my elastic through, sew the ends into a loop, and boom, done. It's really fast. But I can't use that shelf liner on my machine. My cover stitch machine. I'm going to sew my elastic end down real quick. I'm going to leave like a 1/4 inch or so hanging out. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now we're going to take those strip and put it right sides together. And we're going to sew across. I like to try to do a zigzag stitch here. And then to finish, I like to push my seam to one side and I'm going to zigzag over that as well. And now our steering wheel cover is done.